Executive Vice President and coup Brian Kutnick was elected as Intel's sixth CEO, 222, a selection that became effective on the 16th of May, 2013, at the company's annual meeting. Reportedly, the board concluded that an insider could proceed with the role and exert an impact more quickly, without the need to learn Intel's processes, and Kutnick was selected on such a basis. 223, Intel's software head Rene James was selected as president of the company, a role that is second to the CEO position. 224, as of May 2013, Intel's board of directors consists of Andy Bryant, John Donahoe, Frank Yeary, Ambassador Charlene Barshevsky, Susan Decker, Reed Hunt, Paul Otelini, James Plummer, David Pottruck, and David Yoffie, and creative director Will Iam. The board was described by former Financial Times journalist Tom Foremski as an exemplary example of corporate governance of the highest order and received a rating of 10 from Governance Metrics International, a form of recognition that has only been awarded to 21 other corporate boards worldwide. 225, on the 21st of June, 2018, Intel announced the resignation of Brian Kutnick as CEO, with the exposure of a relationship he had with an employee. Bob Swan was named interim CEO, as the board began a search for a permanent CEO. On the 31st of January, 2019, Swan transitioned from his role as CFO and interim CEO and was named by the board as the seventh CEO to lead the company. 226, on the 13th of January, 2021, Intel announced that Swan would be replaced as CEO by Pat Gelsinger, effective February 15. Gelsinger is a former Intel Chief Technology Officer who had previously been head of firmware. 227, in October 2023, Intel announced it would be spinning off its Programmable Solutions Group business unit into a separate company at the start of 2024. While maintaining majority ownership and intending to seek an IPO within 3 years to raise funds. 211, 228, Board of Directors. As of March 2023, Sad Smiley. 229, Frank D. Yeary, Chairman, Managing Member of Darwin Capital. Pat Gelsinger, CEO of Intel. 230, James Goace, Managing Director of Sequoia Capital. Andrea Goldsmith, Dean of Engineering and Applied Science at Princeton University. Alyssa Henry, Square, Inc. Executive. Omar Ishrak, Chairman and former CEO of Medtronic. Raisa Lavizomori, former President and CEO of the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. Zhu J-King Liu, Professor at the UC Berkeley College of Engineering. Barbara G. Novick, co-founder of BlackRock. Gregory Smith, CFO of Boeing. Dion Weiler, former President and CEO of HP Incorporated. Lip Bhutan, Executive Chairman of Cadence Design Systems. Employment. Intel microprocessor facility in Costa Rica was responsible in 2006 for 20% of Costa Rican exports and 4.9% of the country's GDP. 231, Intel has a mandatory retirement policy for its CEOs when they're each age 65. Andy Grove retired at 62, while both Robert Noisy and Gordon Moore retired at 58. Grove retired as chairman and as a member of the board of directors in 2005 at age 68. Intel's headquarters are located in Santa Clara, California, and the company has operations around the world. Its largest workforce concentration anywhere is in Washington County, Oregon. 232, in the Portland metropolitan area Silicon Forest, with 18,600 employees at several facilities. 233, outside the United States, the company has facilities in China, Costa Rica, Malaysia, Israel, Ireland, India, Russia, Argentina and Vietnam, in 63 countries and regions internationally. In March 2022, because of international sanctions during the Russo-Ukrainian war, Intel stopped supplying Russian market. 234. In the US, Intel employs significant numbers of people in California, Colorado, Massachusetts, Arizona, New Mexico, Oregon, Texas, Washington and Utah. In Oregon, Intel is the state's largest private employer. 233. 235. The company is the largest industrial employer in New Mexico, while in Arizona the company has 12,000 employees as of January 2020. 236. Intel invests heavily in research in China, and about 100 researchers or 10% of the total number of researchers from Intel are located in Beijing. 237. In 2011, the Israeli government offered Intel $290 million to expand in the country. As a condition, Intel would employ 1,500 more workers in Kiryat Gat and between 600 and 1,000 workers in the north. 238. In January 2014, it was reported that Intel would cut about 5,000 jobs from its workforce of 107,000. The announcement was made a day after it reported earnings that missed analyst targets. 239. In March 2014, it was reported that Intel would embark upon a $6 billion plan to expand its activities in Israel. The plan calls for continued investment in existing and new Intel plants until 2030. As of 2014, Intel employs 10,000 workers at 4 development centers and 2 production plants in Israel. 240. Due to declining PC sales, in 2016 Intel cut 12,000 jobs. 241. In 2021, Intel reversed course under new CEO Pat Gelsinger and started hiring thousands of engineers. 242. Diversity. Intel has a diversity initiative, including employee diversity groups as well as supplier diversity programs. 243. Like many companies with employee diversity groups, they include groups based on race and nationality as well as sexual identity and religion. In 1994, Intel sanctioned one of the earliest corporate gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender employee groups. 244, and supports a Muslim employees group. 245, a Jewish employees group. 246, and a Bible-based Christian group. 247, 248. Intel has received a 100% rating on numerous corporate equality indices released by the Human Rights Campaign, including the first one released in 2002. In addition, the company is frequently named one of the 100 best companies for working mothers by Working Mother magazine. In January 2015, Intel announced the investment of $300 million over the next 5 years to enhance gender and racial diversity in their own company as well as the technology industry as whole. 249, 250, 251, 252, 253. In February 2016, Intel released its Global Diversity and Inclusion 2015 Annual Report. 254. The male-female mix of U.S. employees was reported as 75.2% men and 24.8% women. For U.S. employees in technical roles, the mix was reported as 79.8% male and 20.1% female. 254. NPR reports that Intel is facing a retention problem, particularly for African Americans, not just a pipeline problem. 255. Economic impact in Oregon in 2009. In 2011, ECO Northwest conducted an economic impact analysis of Intel's economic contribution to the state of Oregon. The report found that in 2009 the total economic impacts attributed to Intel's operations, capital spending, contributions and taxes amounted to almost $14.6 billion in activity, including $4.3 billion in personal income and 59,990 jobs. 256. Through multiplier effects, every 10 Intel jobs supported, an average, was found to create 31 jobs in other sectors of the economy. 257. Intel Israel. Intel has been operating in the state of Israel since Duff Froman founded the Israeli branch of the company in 1974 in a small office in Haifa. Intel Israel currently has development centers in Haifa, Jerusalem and Petah Tikva, and has a manufacturing plant in the Kiryat Gat Industrial Park that develops and manufactures microprocessors and communications products. Intel employed about 10,000 employees in Israel in 2013. Maxime Fesberg has been the CEO of Intel Israel since 2007 and the Vice President of Intel Global. In December 2016, Fesberg announced her resignation. Her position of Chief Executive Officer, CEO, has been filled by Yaniv Gertie since January 2017. Key acquisitions and investments, 2010 present. In 2010, Intel purchased McAfee, a manufacturer of computer security technology, for $7.68 billion. 258. As a condition for regulatory approval of the transaction, Intel agreed to provide rival security firms with all necessary information that would allow their products to use Intel's chips and personal computers. 259. After the acquisition, Intel had about 90,000 employees, including about 12,000 software engineers. 260. In September 2016, Intel sold a majority stake in its computer security unit to TPG Capital, reversing the 5-year-old McAfee acquisition. 261. In August 2010, Intel and Infineon Technologies announced that Intel would acquire Infineon's wireless solutions business. 262. Intel planned to use Infineon's technology in laptops, smartphones, netbooks, tablets and embedded computers in consumer products, eventually integrating its wireless modem into Intel's silicon chips. 263. In March 2011, Intel bought most of the assets of Cairo-based Systesoft. 264. In July 2011, Intel announced that it had agreed to acquire Fulcrum Microsystems Incorporated, a company specializing in network switches. 265. The company used to be included on the EE Times list of 60 emerging startups. 265. In October 2011, Intel reached a deal to acquire Telmap, an Israeli-based navigation software company. The purchase price was not disclosed, but Israeli media reported values around $300 million to $350 million. 266. In July 2012, Intel agreed to buy 10% of the shares of ASML Holding NV for $2.1 billion and another $1 billion for 5% of the shares that need shareholder approval to fund relevant research and development efforts, as part of a €3.3 billion, $4.1 billion deal to accelerate the development of 450mm wafer technology and extreme ultraviolet lithography by as much as 2 years. 267. In July 2013, Intel confirmed the acquisition of OMIC Interactive, an Israeli company that makes technology for gesture-based interfaces, without disclosing the monetary value of the deal. An official statement from Intel read, "The acquisition of OMIC Interactive will help increase Intel's capabilities in the delivery of more immersive perceptual computing experiences." One report estimated the value of the acquisition between $30 million and $50 million. 268. The acquisition of a Spanish natural language recognition startup, Indices, was announced in September 2013. The terms of the deal were not disclosed, but an email from an Intel representative stated, "Intel has acquired Indices, a privately held company based in Seville, Spain." The majority of Indices employees joined Intel. "We signed the agreement to acquire the company on the 31st of May and the deal has been completed." Indices explains that its artificial intelligence, AI, technology is a human image, which converses fluently and with common sense in multiple languages and also works in different platforms. 269. In December 2014, Intel bought PasswordBox. 270. In January 2015, Intel purchased a 30% stake in Vuzix, a smart glasses manufacturer. The deal was worth $24.8 million. 271. In February 2015, Intel announced its agreement to purchase German network chip maker Lantic, to aid in its expansion of its range of chips in devices with internet connection capability. 272. In June 2015, Intel announced its agreement to purchase FPGA design company Ultra for $16.7 billion, in its largest acquisition to date. 273. The acquisition completed in December 2015. 274. In October 2015, Intel bought cognitive computing company Safran Technology for an undisclosed price. 275. In August 2016, Intel purchased deep learning startup Nirvana Systems for over $400 million. 276. In December 2016, Intel acquired computer vision startup Movidius for an undisclosed price. 277. In March 2017, Intel announced that they had agreed to purchase Mobily, an Israeli developer of autonomous driving systems, for $15.3 billion. 278. In June 2017, Intel Corporation announced an investment of over 1,100 crore, $140 million, for its upcoming research and development, R&D, center in Bangalore, India. 279. In January 2019, Intel announced an investment of over $11 billion on a new Israeli chip plant, as told by Israeli Finance Minister. 280. In November 2021, Intel recruited some of the employees of the Centaur Technology division from VIA Technologies, a deal worth $125 million, and effectively acquiring the talent and know-how of their x86 division. 281. 282. VIA retained the x86 license and associated patents, and its Geoxin CPU joint venture continues. 283. In December 2021, Intel said it will invest $7.1 billion to build a new chip packaging and testing factory in Malaysia. The new investment will expand the operations of its Malaysian subsidiary across Penang and Kulim, creating more than 4,000 new Intel jobs and more than 5,000 local construction jobs. 284. In December 2021, Intel announced its plan to take Mobile Automotive Unit via an IPO of newly issued stock in 2022, maintaining its majority ownership of the company. 285. In February 2022, Intel agreed to acquire Israeli chip manufacturer Tower Semiconductor for $5.4 billion.